Initiating System 1. System 1 loaded.
GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, GoreCasters? Welcome back here to the GoreCast with me, Johnny Deadly, and all of my homeboys in Gore. The GoreCast boys, Buzz, Carter, and the Giz. As well as our buddy Mike, who you have seen on the show several times because the lads aren't big video gaming nerds. Well, no, Carter is a video gaming nerd, but he's not a Resident Evil gaming nerd.
Not since like the first 2-3 of them.
Well, okay, so you're enough of a video gaming, gaming nerd to be... Okay, so we got a bit of a 50-50 split where some people are aware of the franchise. Giz is very aware of the game's storylines because he's watched all of the movies and things like that. Mike and I are avid Res Evil gamers, and Buzz likes movies. Or doesn't like movies, depending on the day. We're yet to really fully ascertain what the story is there. He likes Marvel, we know that.
So, I gave my opinions about the Resident Evil. Me and Carter did it last year.
This is the new one.
I hated half of them, and I liked half of them.
That was a different Res Evil.
There have been Marvel Resident Evil crossovers. If you look at the Marvel vs. Capcom games, you can do, Spider-Man versus Jill Valentine.
That's in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, which is an awesome franchise, I gotta admit.
I played that game.
Anyway, on the block tonight, we have the new Resident Evil movie that's out. I was so busy editing Christmas movies for American Horrors, I actually didn't get a chance to check it out until like Stephen's Day or something like that. That's why the review's only coming now. And we also have we're a bit jumpy. Are we a bit jumpy?
Are we? No, I don't think so.
Okay, do you know what? Maybe if I close this down for a minute, and that'll be it. Hey, Joseph, how are you? Welcome to the Chisnits. Hey. And Katie and Bill as well.
Joseph says WWE is going to look like Silent Hill soon.
Yeah, it is. For any wrestling fans out there, because we occasionally cover wrestling on this thing as well, WWE just been sacking NXT, basically. If you haven't been hired by NXT in the last 18 months, strap in, kids, because you're probably getting dropped.
Yep.
I'd say even if you have been hired in the last 18 months.
No, if it's been in the last 18 months, it's probably been Vince related.
Mm-hmm. You never know.
We're getting rid of everybody else's work.
Yes.
Also, hello, Rochi. Welcome to the chats.
Hey, what's going on, dude? Whoop, whoop. You can't do that anymore without there being evil connotations attached to it. Sad.
It's a diddler.
Yeah. I was such a Marty Skrull fan, and then it's kind of like I still wear the t-shirt because this looks badass. But yeah, I missed that theme tune in wrestling. It was good.
I don't know what a Supermax is, but it sounds cool.
Supermax is, do you know McDonald's?
Yeah.
Imagine if it was run by Irish people.
Oh, rock on. So it does sound cool.
Different food.
Right.
Proper sized chops. There's proper sized chops. 100% Irish beef. Yeah, that's about all I really got going for Supermax. And everything else, literally all of the deplorable health and hygiene conditions and horrible food that you get with McDonald's is also there. They just do better chips.
I once got kicked out of there.
Ronald?
Do you have a what?
Do you have a Ronald?
No, they've got a...
Oh, that's sad.
They don't have anything.
There was at one stage... There was some stupid cutesy kids area thing that was associated with them.
That lasted 5 minutes.
Well, no, I know in Limerick people probably just ripped it down and set it on fire. That's Limerick City.
Guess.
We don't need
No,
this.
but I was once kicked out of Supermax, and by that I mean I was kicked.
Everyone's been kicked out of Supermax. It's like
but I was in the middle of. I was on the ground being kicked
Setting
by a bunch of
something on
rugby
fire.
players.
It's a rite of passage in our hometown. The other movie, anyway, back on track, that we have is Asylum, Twisted Tales of...
Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales.
Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales, which is a 2-hour-long anthology movie that is what I can only describe as batshit fucking crazy from start to finish.
And
It's all.
really
It's all.
imaginative.
The first movie is a really, really cool, tight, short
with
horror
Fargo from
exorcism
Town
kind of
Quarry
thing that we'll
Weekend.
get more into because we're going to start with Resident Evil because I feel that's going to be where a lot of the conversations happen tonight. But after that, and not in a bad way, just to clarify, but after that, it fucking boom! It just it gets out on the freeway and it's
It goes
allowed to go
places.
120, and fuck me, does it do the 120? That's all I'm going to say. That's it.
Excuse me.
Some very poignant movies of how to get murdered during a zombie apocalypse. All those kinds of things. You have your take on it, I have mine. But anyway, first up, we have Resident... Or no, I should probably do it properly, shouldn't I? Resident Evil. Thank you.
Yeah.
I played that game a whole
to
fucking lot, my guy.
City.
Resident
Evil. Yeah.
I died a lot as well, so that's the other reason I know it. So well.
Same here.
Yeah, it's the same with Dark Souls. If you play Dark Souls, you get to know that Dark Souls starting music a whole fucking lot. Until one day you listen to it on the radio of YouTube and you're like, oh, there's not as many expletives in it as I seem to have.
Add it in yourself.
It's still not as bad as the jingle from Castlevania. Every 30 seconds.
I didn't die that much in Castlevania.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking
You
every
get
30
PTSD
seconds.
flashback.
Oh, I died a lot in
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Although, you know what? It's so long since I played it in the old school original PS1 days that I can't rightly remember.
PS1. I was playing arcade emulator
It's
of
not
it.
old school.
It came out on PS1. Are you talking? Sorry,
Arcade.
what Castlevania are you talking about?
It came out on the original Nintendo in 1987. There's Castlevania,
Yeah.
Castlevania 2, and Castlevania 3 Rondo of
Yeah.
Blood. Then it was Super Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo, along with Bloodlines on the Mega Drive / Genesis. And then it wasn't until Symphony of the Night, so it's maybe the 5th or 6th.
I
know
know I'm
you're
just
a
a big
big Symphony of the Night
Castlevania fan in general, but Symphony of the Night is where they did this beautiful merger of RPG meets platformer, and I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah, they kind of took some
Yeah.
design ideas from, I think it was Super Metroid.
Yeah.
The whole where the fuck am I going kind of mentality layout. And yeah, because
Well,
originally
it
very
was
linear,
the thing
just
they
go
majorly took
left
from
to
Super
right and
Metroid was
beat
the fact
everything
that
away.
you needed to backtrack and go back to stuff and unlock something and then go back, and there's a proper exploration vibe to it, as opposed to just there's
Padding.
padding when it's needed. Because that's like, if you think
Why
about
was
like
it
the real life
needed?
applications of wandering through one of those fucked up weird castles where there's loads of secret doors and stuff, I'm sure there's quite a lot of, I need to go to this room to do this thing. Then you hear a thing go off where you just came from and you're like, hello, hole in the
You've got to
floor.
think of what. Yeah. You got to think. You've got to think the architect, the designer of the castle. Think, you know what? There's a door in this room. Let's put the lock.
Hey man,
3 miles down
Dracula,
the
I'm
corridor.
sure
That
after being
makes
living
sense.
for fucking 500 years, there's a bit of a pranksterness to him. Where he's just like, you want to get into my fucking secret dungeon? Okay, but you're going to walk for it, bud. You're going to walk
You
for
get
it.
bored after a while.
I
Just
need
making
to
shit
see.
I
for
hope you like looking for keys on one side of a castle to open up a door on
I
the
need
other
to
side.
see the
Home
quote
slice.
between
I'll see you
Dracula.
later.
I definitely need to see the quoting meeting between Dracula and the actual architect, and just reading the blueprints. Like say, so you want
That's-
deathly pits?
Kind of reminds me of the guy. Do you know your man
That's
that
just steal
Keanu
alone.
Reeves is supposed to be playing in a movie, the first serial killer in America? Kind of reminds me of him,
H.H.
like the
Jones.
contractor for his hotel, where it was like,
You
so
already did that.
I've built
Was
a
it The
couple of
Watcher?
hotels in my time, and there just seems to be a lot more crawl space with doors than I'm kind of accustomed to. I was just wondering if you have any insight. I'm going to do the job anyway because I'm getting paid, but just kind of just more curious than anything as to what the story is there than anything.
I don't want my staff
out of
to
your
be
office
seen.
and
I
just
want
do
them to
my
be able
fucking
to-
job. Okay, cool. Yeah, fine. That's fine.
I don't want my staff to be seen. They just need to be able to like disappear quickly in the middle of a hallway. Oh, well, shit, that makes sense. Okay,
That'd be terrifying. Where you like finish your drink on the way back to your hotel room and someone just appears out of a wall, refills it. Christ!
But yes, thank you very much.
Refill and a change of pants.
Yeah. Good thing you came with that refill for everything I drank just left me.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I need to video window. Oh yeah, sorry, I shrank it down.
Oh, see, I was going to skip
Bill
that one.
Donahue, question for everyone. If you
We
could
all
turn
were.
any film into
Oh, I'm going to warn you in advance because you
Which
haven't been
would
on
it
the
be?
podcast
Five.
as much. Anything by Bill, read it first before you just read it out on air.
Yeah.
Just rule
I
of thumb.
wasn't even.
I just wanna point
Bill's a
out,
friend of mine, and
I
I wasn't the one who authorized it deliberately. Well,
He's one of
Bill has known
those.
me and Johnny for a very, very, very long time, and as a result, it takes a certain mentality to know us for that long.
I won't
And I
lie to
just
you. I'm
wanna
pretty sure
point
we can
out,
do
I
that
keep-
question.
I usually fall victim to Bill, but I didn't this time
Mike,
because I stopped.
As the
and
guest,
I read it.
Mike is the guest. Would you like to read out that question from Bill that you were reading?
Okay, very well. If you could turn any film into a porn film, which would it be and why? My choice is Toy Story. Woody, Buzz, lots of good times. Yo, Buzz, I did. You were in
There's
Toy
a Buzz
Story?
in Toy Story.
Yes.
But I do know that Woody and Buzz seem to be named after two
Implements.
kind of
To infinity
Yes.
and beyond. See?
hits. If I could turn any film into a porno, what would it be and why?
Oh yeah, I should probably put
Oh.
trailer text over the fucking this thing before YouTube and the fucking stupid fucking YouTube.
Stupid fucking YouTube. And
Probably American Pie
Already
to
been done.
satisfy all those teenage angsts I had.
Pretty sure Toy Story's been done as well.
Where do I find it?
Well, I know
Next Toy
Ted's been done.
Story, yeah, it's got to be done.
Yeah, but look, is there a
Ted
lot
has.
of writing to make Ted a porn movie?
Kind of.
Not really. It's pretty much set up to
would,
go.
would that class as bestiality?
Do you know what I mean?
Katie's like, I'm going to go do anything except for answer that question. Be back in a few minutes.
Rochi. Giving Rochi the applause of good job, sir.
Oh, I just caught roasted.
Is Katie coming back? Like Katie looks like she's going off doing some legit homework and coming back.
She's like, I'll be back. She's
I've
like
quickly
hoping
gone
when
through
she-
my DVD collection. I've whittled it down to these three.
I think she was saying she's going to do the opposite of answer that
Well,
question.
right.
That's her. She's got no to like grab a drink or something to put up with us.
And like
Ah.
slowly just kind of staring at the refrigerator like, I'll give him a few more minutes. Maybe
That's
maybe
definitely
just
how
wait
I
till
advise
back.
you enjoy us is with
Personally,
as many drinks possible.
I'm trying to think of what hasn't already been done in some way,
Yeah,
shape, or
I'm kind of-
form.
Right. Like I'm kind of stuck there. It just seems like everything's if it hits popularity, it's already getting its own parody, like right off the bat.
Plus, there's the fact that 9 times out of 10, when watching a movie, I will
Rule 34.
end up
Yeah.
concocting my
We
own
do have
stuff
the
anyway.
porn historian here, so
I mean, like, there's shit out there for like anything from Evil Dead to like The Grinch.
Did you read that one from Rochi?
yeah, that's what I was clapping
No,
to.
you would have Bo Peep in the bed and Buzz so she can tell Woody you got a friend in me.
And see, like you said, Bill,
Would it be
was
that or
already
would it be I've got a friend in me?
done.
Well, no, because she's saying it to the other fella. You've got a friend in
Oh,
me.
So it's Woody's pegging Buzz?
What? No, it's Bo Peep.
I need to read this.
Bo
She
Peep,
said, "Hey, bro,
Bo Peep is
you've
getting
got a
banged by
friend.
Buzz.
of yours."
saying to Woody.
Yeah. I got you.
There you
I
go.
got you.
Just spent
Of all
10
the
minutes.
things that we've had to like.
You've
break down,
got
that
my
one's actually
friend in you.
I'm pretty sure that's.
I guess we're not reviewing movies tonight. We're just going to start rebooking fucking.
I would just like to point out this is not my fault.
This is my fault. This is what happens when I have migraines or any other weird scenarios before I go live on air.
You decide that we're just going to turn everything into a porno?
No, but you'll find that I'm normally way more encouraging of the mayhem in the live chat than I normally would be.
Also, Bill, in answer to your question about Ash, you need to look up a film called Evil Head.
Yep.
It's impeccable.
Myself and Johnny have reviewed it in the past.
It's impeccable. I won't lie to you. If you're a big Evil Dead fan, awesome. And if you're a big fan of tits, awesome.
Yep.
Evil Angel.
Cleo Klein.
No, Burning Angel. Burning Angel.
Majestic.
Zombie titties.
Zombie titties, zombie titties, zombie titties, zombie titties, zombie titties. This is pretty much it. What always impressed me about Evil Head was I was like, how you managed to not, without it seeming like it's shoehorned in, fit all the sex into the movie. I was like, well, it's pretty natural. Until he started just fucking all the hags at the end, I was kind of like, I don't know if you're really understanding how this whole Necronomicon thing works.
Or maybe he is. But I don't think he is. Hey, crack open a cold one.
He wasn't exercising anything, I'll tell you that straight out.
I think he kind of was. Pretty sure he was. Pretty sure
he was exercising. Yeah, he wasn't exercising. He wasn't exercising the demons, as they say.
No, they were getting a lot of exercise too.
Your box is clear.
I think I have to admit though, I have actually seen several Resident Evil.
You mean the CGI ones?
I have to admit that.
You mean the CGI ones?
It's weird what you can find on the internet. So, yeah, some of the
So
it's like, yeah, it turns out, Claire Redfield is quite cute in CGI.
And everybody else.
I've had a look. As you do. When you start getting turned out by a liquor, that's when it starts getting a bit too weird.
Really?
No, sorry. When did this come out again? It was what, 3 weeks ago?
Sorry, we all got caught up in a conversation that I did not start.
Or Carter.
Bill's like, stream barely started and I've caused a train wreck. You have, and you're solely responsible, Bill. Yep.
December 3rd is when
I can actually envision him patting himself on the back right now. So this came out in November, and then it came out for digital and everything afterwards, which is what we waited for. And it is essentially tells the story of a town where they have an evil corporation called the Umbrella Project, who they're doing some shenanigans up in a mansion in the mountain, and evidently in an orphanage in the town, which is news to me. But anyway, so
it's kind of under them though.
Huh?
It's kind of under them, not up in.
Well, yes, the mansion is more like the cherry on the cupcake that is the underground massive system of zombie-infested craziness, basically.
Cherry on the cupcake.
Yes. Bree, welcome to the chat. How are you?
Welcome to the show.
Yes. So anyway, I said Umbrella Project. Sorry, Umbrella Project isn't right. It is Umbrella Corporation. Sorry,
yeah,
Umbrella Project was the thing I was working on before.
Yeah, it's like the movie. This was my first gripe with Resident Evil, the new movie, was that they tried to put too much in. Instead of focusing on one game, they've mixed the first two games, and there is way too much story for one movie.
Definitely.
In two games.
I did feel like they could have done part 1, part 2. Yeah.
As I was saying,
just the first. Let's have it all in the Spencer Mansion. See the tyrant. Sorry, spoilers. There's no tyrant. There should be this tyrant. It's like if you look at the villains in the first three games, you've got the tyrant, then you've got William Birkin / the Mr. X, and in the third one you've got Nemesis. You think that as a trilogy of movies, that is a perfect way to
I think
your villains, but no, they went straight in.
Myself and Carter reviewed these anime / live action movies ages ago called Gantz, and they were all of the movies ran. So all of the movies ran on the same timeline, but you were dealing with different groups of people, but you could still see you could see little hints and things of movie one that you would see. Like, say there was a big kaiju fight in the middle of Gantz. When you were following the crew in Gantz whatever Gantz 2 was or whatever, you could see
I can't remember
in the
name of
background
that
that massive kaiju fight happening on the other side of the city. You know, just little things. Like, I mean, you could have cut back to, you could have had little bits that set up for movie 2 in this, or even stuff that was happening in the town with a couple of little clips. Do you know what I mean? Of, you see some of this shit in the town, you see a bit of Leon doing something or other, but then movie 2 would be covering game 2, and you'd see that thing that you saw the little flash of in movie 1 happening from the actual perspective of.
But
But to be fair, that's how the actual first 2 games go, because this Resident Evil 2 is set halfway through the first game.
Resident Evil 2 is set however long it takes zombies to walk down a hill and start munching on townspeople. Not long,
Perhaps.
by the way, just to let you know.
I believe it's like the first one is set on. There is some lore. It's set within the same week in the first 2 games, so it starts off on a Wednesday. And I think it ends on a Saturday. The way the actual story completely runs out, even though it's always
Umbrella Corporation. They got an umbrella.
They blacked out the sun
with an umbrella.
But I could also see them try to stay away from Nemesis, though, because I mean, like, we are kind of sort of on the ass end of that whole franchise that was so big.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Nemesis is a rather crucial component.
Oh, agreed.
You know, I don't feel because Mila Jovovich and her husband dicked up Nemesis in their version of the movies means he should just be omitted.
Right, but they didn't have the budget that those films did. And so maybe they were just trying to stay like, okay, low-key, let's try to like see if we can really separate ourselves. Nemesis was all over the place in that one. Let's try to do something different here. Like, while I agree with it, I can kind of see why they wanted to go some other way.
Oh, I'm going to stand corrected for just a moment. Is it Rochi who's just posted? Yeah, he's got it right. I've got it wrong. It's the third one that's set amidst the same time.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 are relatively running concurrently with each other.
Honest, the way I see it is this, right? They're bringing out their version of a franchise that's gone in the public eye for 6 or 7 movies already, and has taken a certain direction with those films. So once again, you know, public perception is this is what Resident Evil is. So they have to start again, and they have to build up the perception that this is what it's supposed to be. Now, they cannot guarantee a success. They can't guarantee they're going to get the next film, but they'd like to, clearly, which is why we don't see Nemesis in this. Instead, we get an amalgamation of the first 2 story film lines to kind of retell the origin story to the point that if they do get a sequel, they can just hit the ground running, because the audience has been reintroduced to all these characters in a way that's more in line with the game, and certainly more in line with the story that they would like to tell if they're allowed to continue the franchise on.
Right, and that's just it. Like, I don't condemn them for doing it. I don't like the fact that they tried to merge 2, but it did make for a quicker, bigger, kind of flashy movie that may be able to get them a sequel.
Go on.
I was just saying, it's like you were saying about all the characters, and you think, you know, only a 2-hour movie. There's not enough time to get to know these characters in the course of a game. You know, I think the first one playthrough time is around 4 hours. I think the second one is around 6 hours. So you get a lot of time to learn these characters, but you're only learning 2 per episode. I think we've got 5-10 minutes to learn these characters, and straight off the bat.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it was the best game plan by any means.
It's like you open up with something that has nothing
movies?
to do with any of the storyline that's ever happened in a game ever.
So it's like 2 of the characters, as we start, that is just completely wrong. You got the Jill Valentine now, who's an itchy trigger finger, sassy
Dutch from Killjoys,
piss taker. Where in the game she was quite a coy, humble young go-getter. Like, no, that's very wrong. And then what they did with Wesker, who is this? He's just got the same name only. Now I know a lot of people had an issue with Leon. I think people forget that Leon was kind of picked on. He was kind of picked on,
but he also wasn't a total dillweed, and he's a total dillweed in this. Like, Like, he's fucking useless.
I mean, like we get introduced to him like falling asleep in the fucking the restaurant, right? He's just, and from that moment on, he's just running for his own fucking life. It just seems like he sleeps through a fucking explosion that's like
10 feet in front of him.
Right, 10, 20 feet in front of him, and he has like no clue what the fuck's going on. I mean, like they really kind of lowered the bar on his IQ, like hard.
Yeah, but like, in fairness, man, in the games, right, he was also a rookie. He got with the program pretty fucking quick.
But they even went out of their way to.
Like that zombie when that zombie breaks into the Raccoon City Police Department in the movie first and comes towards him. That zombie is within sniffing distance, and he's still like, "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to stand back. Are you okay, sir?
He's still kind of
sir,
asleep.
I'm going to have to ask you to stand back." You know, and it's kind of like, "Hey, dude, no matter how much of a fucking rookie you are, I feel you could probably figure out, even if you didn't instantaneously jump to mutated zombie apocalypse busting out in relation to the weird corporation that lives on the hill, but you could at least be like, that guy's smoking crystal meth. That boy's hopped up on PCP. That man is coming for my face." Any one of these three things should have probably popped through anybody's brain. I'm not just talking about a rookie or a professional cop. I mean, fucking young John who does the fucking paper route, you know, on fucking Wednesdays for the local newspaper. Even he should be kind of like, no, you don't just stand there like, "Sir, sorry, sir, you can't just bust through a door in the middle of an apocalypse like that, sir. Sir, seriously, sir,
Really,
you gotta calm down, sir."
But they really did try to like make sure that everybody knew this character was useless. Like, "Oh, aren't you the rookie that shot his partner? Wow, could we start off any worse
in the butt?"
Or could we start off any worse of a character? You know what I mean?
You can't shake off a butt.
Right. All I can think of is that in film, in the sequel, if they get a sequel, he's going to be Mr. Ass Kicker Supreme. Maybe. I don't know. Look, you posed the question.
Ooh,
you posed the question.
Poor Batson.
You posed the question earlier as to whether or not this film would be enjoyed more by fans of the game or people who are just, you know, Joe Average watching, going in to watch it. Myself and my buddy watched this film together, and neither one of us had played through fully any of the games. We were familiar enough with the lore, but overall, I think we came out of it thinking, well, that was fun. We didn't have the knowledge to know that certain characters were done completely wrong. We knew Leon was done wrong from what we had seen. We knew Wesker was different, but
very wrong
for us, because of the way that this story is told. It was enjoyable. You're able to sit down, you're able to get what the story of the film is fairly quickly. You're able to get into the feel of the film because of the way that it's shot, because of the music, because of the atmosphere. Insofar as drawing an audience in and letting them know what they're watching, you do get to that quick enough so that you are able to sit down and enjoy some of the gags. You're able to enjoy the fact that Leon's a fucking idiot. You're able to enjoy the police chief just casually shooting a zombie and then running for his miserable, mortal, mutton chopped life as quickly as he can.
Okay,
there's
you
lots
know what,
of stuff.
Though? That motherfucker had an idea. Get the fuck out of town. Like,
he
was probably the only one that had like a solid plan. And,
oh, yeah.
The solid plan of nope.
Right?
Fuck this. Bullock. Once myself and Joe were watching it, and Joe just went, Bullock from Gotham, of course. Because it just made perfect sense.
It's out of my pay grade, and therefore I'm gone. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. This is where I draw the line. Insofar as how
call me when one of those zombies forgets to pay his parking meter, and I'll sort that out if that's okay. But until that time, I'm gone.
Insofar as the way the film is presented, it does work for those that have only got a passing familiarity with the franchise, especially those whose passing familiarity is garnered mainly from the Mila Jovovich movies, which drifted so far from the base material that this really would be like a complete and utterly new experience, because even the first film didn't have the kind of grittiness that this one does try to deliver.
Like I will say, like, gripes aside, and like I did a little mini post review on Instagram, like virtually instantaneously when I finished watching it, and it's like gripes gripes aside with the movie, it's hands down the most Resident Evil feeling movie, live action wise anyway, to date.
Oh, dude, one of my favorite scenes is when the Starscreams hit the mansion, and you just have the lights like following the carpet up the stairs. I felt like I was home. Like, that was just such an awesome fucking scene.
It looked cool, but it also looked so green screened.
It did, but I noticed that in a lot of their scenes, though. Like, a lot of scenes looked good, and then a lot of scenes were like really bad kind of CGI.
You can kind of tell where the budget started to run out about 3/4 ways through the movie.
Yeah. Now, Rochi pointed out a couple.
Seeing the foyer of CPD and see the foyer of the Spencer Mansion. That is what
they
really
got the
made
set
it feel
pieces right.
Just, which it confused me. It's like, why would they spend so much time making these perfect recreations of the sets, and yet get the characters so they're obviously dedicated to making it feel authentic.
It could just be me being a Res Evil purist, right? But you know the terrible opening movie in Resident Evil 1? Yeah, I don't get why we couldn't have kind of done that to get them into the Spencer Mansion. I'm not saying do it as bad, but I mean, like, with some competent actors, and you have the you have the killer dogs chasing them through the woods. I think it would have. I think it would have made well, and like one of the iconic scenes from Resident Evil 1 is that literal opening bit where Chris or Claire meets the first zombie with the slow head turn around as he's eating the guy in the corner, and it was like, yeah. If you played the game, you were a bit upset to watch Chris whip out an Uzi, though. I was like, "Where's your knife, asshole? What the fucking? I wish I had a fucking Uzi when I was playing the fucking game, you dick."
Now, Rochi put out.
You've got all these little throwbacks in there, which were nice to see, but the one that, and this was almost in the first 5 minutes of the movie, is the joke about Jill's sandwich. I'm like, come on, guys, that's too easy.
But it was still a fun.
Too easy. Which is, but my biggest gripe with the film is that they left out my favourite character.
Maybe he's in the sequel.
Barry Burton.
Here's why, because if Barry Burton was in the, I'll tell you something for nothing, mate. Barry Burton doesn't make the sequel, bro.
I'll be honest. I thought that I was aware that somebody because you had on a video during the week or a couple of weeks ago when I was down, and I was aware that there was a helicopter pilot, and I thought that was the guy.
No, that's not Barry.
That was in reference to. I know, but I didn't realize that was Barry. I thought the pilot was the guy in the film.
I think it would have been cool to have Barry in it, but I do think as a if you were to go by the games, Jill would literally have nothing to do if Barry was there. Because in the game, Chris is on his own, and he's got a knife for quite a lot of the game. Jill starts off with a handgun, and normally, depending on the situation, if shit seems to be going tits up, Barry Burton's probably going to come in and rock the shit out of whatever's in the fucking room.
Rochi brought up a point. He was like, this movie should have been a series, and that would have made it, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, because it had a bit of time to breathe.
I agree.
Yeah. Like, they could have slowed it down a little bit, because as much as I liked it, it was at times too busy, and it just felt like it rushed through too many scenes that could have been slowed out and kind of enjoyed more.
When I first heard about
Jill
this,
Valentine is in the first game. Yeah, it's Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield.
Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield.
Claire isn't in until the second or third game.
And Leon is Kennedy.
Yeah, third one is just
Jill.
Jill.
One is just Jill.
I was going to say, when I first heard about this film, it was actually at the same time that we heard about the last Resident Evil project that came out, the CGI one, and I actually had it confused in my head. I thought the CGI was going to be a movie, and I thought this was going to be a series. Up until the CGI series came out, I was like, oh, well, I had that arse backwards.
That's what I had also read.
That it was going to be a live action series and a CGI movie. So, okay, good to know I wasn't the only one that made that mistake.
The parts I enjoyed is where the lady working at the diner took the bleeding from an eye like a champ. He's like, "Hey, what's going on there?" "Oh, it's nothing. I'll be okay." I was like,
just pumping blood from my eye holes. It'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just natural. And the soundtrack was awesome. Like you switched out to Slipknot, you put in 4 Non-Blondes and Journey, and yummy, yummy, yummy. I didn't really like Toucher Mick, truck driver at the beginning, but then he got like killed by his dog, so that was kind of cool.
But that's the iconic scene from the opening of the second one. That truck driver is kind of he's the one that brings the disease into
I'm happy
the town.
he's the one that died. I enjoyed that part because he was a douche.
And then
it's exactly the same with the game.
like you said, anyone who played the first game will actually enjoy that they brought in the piano. Dude, that was awesome. I fucking giggled when that shit hit.
Yep.
I was a bit confused about everything that happened in the orphanage. To be honest, like in storyline and just in reality as well. Like I still to this moment as we speak now can't figure out how Claire was the only one to see Lisa wandering around. Where
Yeah. Well, that wasn't in the original game.
She's the you have to fight her at the end of something, don't you?
You try to more. It's like even the Ashford twins are in it. It's like they don't come into the game until
it was like they were kind of like, we're not 100% sure we're going to get a sequel, so we're just going to chuck as much fucking little nods.
Okay, so you guys.
Rochi said he might have been right.
Too much.
Yeah. Apparently
he was saying that it was supposed to be a series at first, but that got put back into being a movie for now. So.
So I kind of wonder if this was just a chop then, like. They already had kind of like maybe the storyline.
Maybe they had a series made and they were like, how the fuck do we make this 2 hours?
They could have done it. But yeah,
it would have given everyone a bit of breathing room character-wise. Do you know what I mean?
It's like, like I get Barry in.
Sorry, I don't get some of the character changes and decisions, but I get how they were put in as a much just quicker method of getting people on board with this is what this guy is and this is what that guy is.
Well, and like you and me talked about the orphanage, I get that was a quick Band-Aid to move everybody into the right place and save time. But it just seems so weird.
Yeah, the orphanage didn't play a major role.
The orphanage was there literally to just put Jill and Claire in some sort of contact with Umbrella before everything else.
They brought in her.
Well, no, the orphanage served as the place where that Sherry.
Because I won't lie to you, man. The annoying thing is if they got rid of that orphanage shit at the start, right, and then do you know where Jill shows up at Chris's house? Or sorry, not Jill. Sorry, do you know where Claire shows up at Chris's house? Like, if they just added an extra minute of dialogue there, like there was as much background story as to their relationship that you needed in that scene.
No, they definitely could have lined that better and killed the whole orphanage thing.
And that orphanage thing took so long at the start as well that, I mean, like, you could have actually fit some better use of the storyline later on down the movie. Because the movie towards the end of the movie, and it's one of my issues with the pacing of it, is like as you get into that third quarter, they're just mad to get to the end of that movie as fast as fucking possible.
Oh yeah, because they realize they're running out of time. So like everything from that moment on, it is quick pace. You've got your boss battle that goes down. You've got everybody running for the exit and trying to sum up the last bit of story. Like it's a run for the finish line.
Yeah, like yeah, basically. They were like, oh, okay, we have a lot of shit we need to cover in about 20 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
That's why they should have just stuck to one narrative.
Do you remember the way they always had they just pull a rocket launcher out of their ass, basically, in the games? Yeah, I think we're probably going to need to do that, because I don't think we have a time for a big orchestrated, ingenious kind of fight where they take down the guy. We're going to need a big boom and just get him out of there as fucking quick as possible.
See, Rosie, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, if they'd stuck to the series, that would have been a good layout for it. Just like season 1 focuses on the Stars team and Spencer Mansion, setting the tone for Raccoon City, locations, stuff like that. And then season 2 could have taken us to the underground labs, the virus hitting the city, leading into the outbreak. Like, it would have been good had they had like that kind of time frame for seasons and series.
No, I think the first movie first Star would have made a good like tour pilot.
Oh, kind of like the first 2 episodes of Firefly.
Perhaps. I've not seen Firefly.
Sorry.
What the fuck? No, it doesn't. That's like watch. That's like getting the. That's like getting The Shining and going to the last chapter. What the.
Actually, technically, it's not the last chapter.
Wait, hang on a minute. Anyway. Buzz, you also haven't seen Firefly, have you?
I did, because we reviewed it last year.
Never mind, so that's okay.
So anyway, and then the series continued once they actually escaped.
It is nice, though, that somebody else brings that I haven't seen something and get to see you guys have that reaction.
It's because it's our genuine reaction. It's not like we're picking on you.
Oh, I got lightheaded.
It's just that you tend to have a much higher percentage of. How the fuck haven't you seen that movies?
Right.
Yeah. So, all in all, we're going to hit the trailer for Resident Evil now in a minute, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do our final deliberations / ratings. And Mike and I are going to, and the lads are going to try and figure out: would you enjoy this movie more as a Resident Evil game fan, or just coming in as, oh, this seems like an interesting zombie movie? Anyway, here's the trailer for Resident Evil. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with our ratings for the movie.
Come on. Every story has a beginning. Discover the origin of evil.
Why are you back here, Claire? Your conspiracies weren't true when we were kids. They're not true now.
We need to expose Umbrella. Watch this.
I'm afraid, Claire. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do to this town. You see, Umbrella, they had an incident. I'm talking Chernobyl, if you know what I mean. People are getting sick. You gotta help us, Claire. Let the world know what's really going on.
25 years and my life is still.
We have to contain this.
Trying to get up that great big hill of hope.
Shall we go?
For a destination. Into a crisis of times when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out. What's in my head? I am feeling.
What were Umbrella doing here?
This is where they're experimenting on him.
We should split up.
What the?
We gotta get out of here.
We're gonna take Umbrella down.
And we are back. That was the trailer for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Sorry, I had a hiccup.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I think it's raw. I like it as long as you can give it that grain of salt that, you know, a movie's never going to be like the book kind of thing. I don't really feel like a movie could ever be like a video game.
If you ever believe that, you should watch Doctor Sleep.
I have not actually gotten around to Doctor Sleep yet.
You've not seen it.
Oh!
My shame. I'm so sorry.
Here's the thing with Doctor Sleep. I am in the mood. I was contemplating going, have you not seen Doctor Sleep yet? But I'm like, it's still recent enough that the guy, it's not like it's 10 years down the road. I think you've had time to watch it by now, kind of thing.
It's very different.
No,
superhero movie.
I try to give movies that grain of salt, so it's like I still think this is probably the best Resident Evil movie I've gotten so far.
Oh, it's hands down the best Resident Evil movie we've gotten so far.
And so I think it can go for gamers or strangers.
I would think it would probably lean towards people who haven't seen it, just kind of for that fact, like, or not maybe the fact you were saying, but like that fact that like if you know kind of a predetermined knowledge of something, like you guys say, like they didn't do this character right, they didn't do this character right, and you don't know that, like I didn't. I thought it was fine. Like I was saying, it was like the best movie, but like I thought it was fine. It was a nice zombie movie.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's a good zombie movie.
I don't know enough about the stuff to know, oh, they didn't do that right, they didn't do that right, so it didn't take me, out of it. So, I mean, it worked for me. And like I said, Donald Logue was in it.
I love Donald
Logue, so thumbs up on that.
Let's all say his name together really quickly. On the count of three.
Logue.
1, 2, 3. Donald Logue.
Donald Logue.
Null Og.
Not just me this time, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like say donut, but don't say nut, say all.
Okay, fine. Dad from Grounded for Life.
The police chief.
Yeah, that too. The guy from Ghost Rider.
And Blade.
Sons of Anarchy.
What else was he in?
Sons of Anarchy.
There you go.
Blade.
Gotham.
The guy from
Blade.
movies.
He's fucking Bullock from Gotham.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Blade. I'm just going to keep saying Blade till someone pays attention to what I've been saying.
We know you're saying Blade. He gets his hands chopped off. They come back. He's got the cool. He's awesome.
He has a sweet mustache in the movie too.
I
loved it.
I actually, gripes aside, I actually did enjoy the movie. It's a fun movie. It's hands down best Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
And that's even including some of the fucking CGI movies, because fuck me, they get fucking out there. Giz said it to me at one stage. She was like,
I do enjoy that. I think
Leon
it was
always
really
what is he? He's like a super soldier or something. I'm like, I
right.
don't know. I'll put it this way. He definitely couldn't punt kick a car across the parking lot when I first saw him in the games, but I'm pretty sure the games got very ropey for a while after 3. Yeah, even after 3, even to a certain degree, a bit ropey as well. But
could he punch a boulder?
See, and I think 3 is where I stopped playing, and I've not played a Resident Evil since then.
Pick back up at 7 and enjoy yourself.
3 was really good. Veronica.
Yes.
The Res 2 remake is phenomenal.
Very good. Very good.
3, I struggled.
So,
I think they
what
went
are we doing
just
ratings
too
wise,
hardcore
guys?
action.
I'm going to give it a 4 because, much like Buzz, I don't have all the intimate knowledge of the games that you do. I know enough to know who everyone is and all the rest of it. But as a result, certain characters being different and certain storylines being different doesn't annoy me as much this time around. So I can see what they're trying to do to introduce new people in, and I think it works. It delivers the atmosphere properly from the games, and it just gives people a better feel for what Resident Evil should have been, rather than the kind of the madcap direction that we've seen take before in the live action.
Yes.
I'll go 3. Just because, like I said, it's an entertaining film. It's a good zombie film, but there are some pacing issues that kind of just, I don't know. It kind of gets a little bit, I don't want to say all over the place, but kind of speeds up, slows down, and I don't know. The pacing issues just I didn't like that much, so it kind of took me down a grade. So I'll go 3.
Okay.
Good music.
I'm gonna go 4. Like I said, I'm willing to get passes here and there for it. even on the stuff that I wasn't really like, I didn't really feel was necessary in the story. But there was also just some good nostalgia that I love the fact that they made sure that hit the camera. So
when you see that opening shot of the Raccoon City Police Department, it's like, oh yeah.
Right. You know, like I've heard people say in a bad way that this was more of a fan service, but yeah, like I appreciated the fucking fan service. It really made it feel like I was playing the first game and stuff back then.
It's almost like they kind of have to do that for the utter nonsense that was the first group of movies. Like, we're gonna bring you back in. Let's give you some of this fan service.
So, sorry, quickly, can I get vote numbers off people because I forgot to write them down?
4 characters, 4 buzzes, 3.
I'm probably gonna go. Probably go 4. Yeah, 4. Because like I give out to Giz about this the whole time, and I can't be guilty of it myself. But like gripes aside about the storyline and stuff, as an actual just sit down and watch it movie, it's a grand old zombie movie. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. There's a couple of really cool zombie kills. The face lickers look cool, and also if you are someone going into it not as a Resident Evil game fan, I don't think you're going to notice how much of a clusterfuck of the storyline they made, if you know what I mean.
No,
yeah.
I didn't.
So like I enjoyed it as a good fun zombie movie. Good stuff. There's some ingenious shit in there, like really well shot sequences in there, like the bit where Chris is in the room full of zombies and he's popping them off one by one, and the room's only lit up by the muzzle flashes is
and the fucking lighter, dude.
Yeah, and I know that literal bit isn't in the game, but it felt very video gamey. Just you know, very Dead Space. You know, where there's like bits where you don't know what you're shooting until you're shooting
or
stuff.
Doom.
Yeah.
Parts of Doom 3 where you're literally just going by muzzle flares.
I'm gonna go with a 4. 4, 4, 3. Oh yeah.
15 so far.
Plus 4. Yes. And Mike.
Can I give a partial?
Well, like a point?
1.5
score?
Like a 0.5 kind of thing? Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it sounds harsh, but yeah.
2.5?
2.5. Straight down the middle. I think because for me, for everything they did right, they did equally everything wrong. And I just can't decide where I'm on the fence, so I have to go straight down the middle. It's like the things that are good are so good, but the things that are bad are so bad. And it's just I can't steer it one way or the other to say negative or positive. So I have to go straight down the middle with a 2.5.
I think that comes to
one moment. I just need to. Das Vidania, porn bot.
Right.
Okay, so 2.5. So that is an overall GC rating of 3.5 for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Well worth a watch. I'll put it that way. Like, if you like zombie movies, you're not going to be pissed off.
No. And if you like Four Non-Blondes, you're not going to be pissed off.
I will say, I know Rochi said that the soundtrack was the only thing that saved the movie for him. I actually found the soundtrack to be, while the choice of tunes throughout very good, I found it to be also very annoying because I was kind of, I was like, yeah, I'd like if you set the time period in more ways than just shoving as much 90s music into my face as is humanly possible.
And some of it was in the 90s. There was 80s because they had Journey, and that song was in the 90s.
Yeah, well, look, there was a truck in it. If you have a truck in your movie, you need to have Journey on at some stage or another.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's scientific fact.
No, that was Donald or Dad from Grounded for Life driving in the cop car when that song played.
Well, whatevs.
I had to stop it.
I feel Journey just have like a patent release on their songs. where it's just like, if you do Hollywood, you may do song in Hollywood movie.
You can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
The wheels in the sky, they keep on turning, as Journey says.
Yeah. Ron Burgundy never heard that song.
I forgot about that. Anchorman, you never cease to amaze me.
You need wine?
I need wine.
You wine up, my friend.
I need tits and wine.
We get to see the wall. The wheels in the sky keeps on turning.
I'm intrigued as to why he's just flipped the camera around. I'm like, now there's stuff that I want to see. I don't know why.
Maybe he's just not.
I was like, I don't know why you
see
flipped
your
the camera
secret
around.
word
Now there's
stash.
stuff I want to see. What are we doing? Ooh. You got a very nice Joker layout, man, I have to say. Well, like Batman aesthetic in general.
Should go over me
Not
as I sleep.
remotely creepy.
It's okay, I have the Crow and Halloween 2 posters.
What was that?
I said I have the Crow and Halloween 2 poster watching over me while I
Also
sleep.
equally not creepy.
And then some more Halloween posters over there.
I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna cheese.
Literally, it's not like a Joker fetish. I just saw 2 wall art that were insanely cheap and they just happened to have the Joker on. So this one cost me like £5, so like $4. That one cost me about £6, about $4.50. So it's like, you're coming home with me.
Get in bag.
All my posters costed free because my brother bought them for his room, and then he's like, I'm not putting them up in my room. I got something different.
I
You can
have no
them."
more room in
like,
my
"Sweet."
room for the posters.
Nice.
Yeah. We have X-Men ones in the bathroom.
What's this? What do we got going on here? Dwayne Johnson. Rochi's sending me things. The Rock. Yes, my friend. The Rock devours cookies, all kinds of cookies. I'll introduce you to cheat meals, and it'll change your life.
today.
Tell Cookie Monster to move it over, because I'm coming to Sesame Street to kick ass and eat cookies, and I'm almost all out of cookies. The Rock.
You can't say ass on Sesame Street.
And then Cookie Monster, who's official,
Apparently nobody told The Rock
went,
that, so.
me say cookie challenge accepted.
Remember, he did it all for the cookie. The cookie.
WrestleMania 38, the Cookie Monster versus
Munching
The Rock.
cookies.
Now that's a match I'd watch. I've watched the Puppets wrestling before. It was fucking majestic.
It's good times.
Absolutely majestic.
It's very good times. Are you talking about Session Moth?
And
That was a great match.
fucking Billy Bedlam.
Billy Bedlam.
That was fan
There's
fucking
some trash talking puppets going on. It's a poopet.
That's Limerick City.
It's a fucking poopet.
It's a puppet.
It's a fucking poopet.
Oh my God, Brian Connolly reference. I actually met him a few years ago. Awesome guy. The puppet.
The abuse he used to give that puppet.
Right, so next movie we have up is Asylum, Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales, which is 2 hours and...
Well, it's about 2 hours.
No,
1 hour
hang
and
on.
58.
2 hours and 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 movies of short variety in it. That are all fucking batshit crazy.
We have notes.
So many notes. I've got notes.
I'm looking forward to
They're multiplying.
Just to say, I don't have notes. It's all in my head.
And I'm writing with ink.
There's lots of things that are all in my head as well. I try not to tell other people about them, though, because it could get me in trouble.
It's not only does he try not to tell other people about them, we also request that you do not tell us about them.
Because it'll get me in trouble.
Oh, well, it'll probably get us in trouble, too, if you
Yep.
say it on here.
YouTube is not me doing it. I just
Your
don't want the
stream
channel
has
getting
been-
banned. It's not my fault we're not allowed to have freedom of speech, YouTube. You know what I mean? YouTube.
Fucking
Everybody has freedom of speech on this channel. It's a platform where people are able to stand
So
up
what do we
and
do?
voice their
We're
opinions.
going
As
through
long as your
these-
opinions don't come from any of these particular directions, otherwise, problems. But as long as your opinions match our opinions. You're free to talk about freedom. Social media. That's a magical thing. I went on a rant again. Sorry.
Anyway, back to the film.
Yeah. Oh boy, Trev, what's going on? Welcome to the Chisnets.
We're going to do the movie on a whole, or we're going to go segment by segment.
What the? Oh, yes. Yes.
I'll give you an insight into my brain. Please don't. I'm good. Okay. Who wants to take Asylum, Twisted Horror, and Fantasy Tales? I did the little opening line, and I did the main opening.
Okay. I'll go with this one, I guess.
Okay.
Wrapped up in overarching what can best be described as stage performance show, which works as an intermingling between each of these shorts. Asylum, Twisted Horror, and Fantasy Tales is categorically batshit fucking insane, and that's me saying this. And it's brilliant. And it's insane. It's all these different short stories, which, like I said, they get intermixed together between these stage plays, which seem to kind of act as prologue and epilogue to some of these ones. And every single one of them is just crazy. Like the first one, for instance, called The Cleansing Hour, which has Neil Grayson, who used to play Fargo from a town called Eureka. The entire notion is that
seeing him.
Yeah, the entire notion is that they've got this like YouTube show called The Cleansing Hour, and they fake this priest.
Ghostfacers! Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like they fake an exorcism, and it's all set up, and Fargo's there as the director, and they got the new sound.
And if you do a good enough job, you might possibly get your SAG card.
Are you kidding? Fargo's still waiting to get his call from the directors union. Anyway, Father Lance is the star of the show. They have something like 14,000 subscribers or just under. And they're getting ready to do their latest broadcast with nice Heather, who has volunteered to be the latest exorcism
and also looking
client.
for her SAG card.
Yes. And everything is going according to plan. You know, they've got the show up. There's people watching around the world. Korea, families are watching.
Yep.
Student chick is watching while her friends are getting ready to go out.
You got the chick strapped to a chair waiting to be taken over by a demon, and a demon ready to take her over.
And that's kind of the issue. Because somehow, somewhere along the line, they missed the pentagram that seems to be burnt into the back of this young lady's neck. And that's what I was thinking as well. Yes, but I wasn't 100% certain.
And they also came.
That
came after.
Right.
He
like,
melted
that
it.
caught my attention too.
Yeah.
But then he bucked ass out as soon as shit went south. Like he knew. It just seemed like he knew something was going to fucking go down.
Probably because he was the cause of it.
Well, he did it when he was putting her earpiece in. He puts her earpiece and says, "Oh yeah, this is the strange part. It's going to feel weird," and then it's transferred onto her neck.
See, I wasn't sure if it was there the whole time or if he had
the audio guy,
because he was gone by the end of it.
No, because it was on his hand, and then he went to behind her, and then it like appeared on her neck.
Well, in any case, the fake priest soon realizes he might have a bit of a real possession on his hands, but it's okay because somebody brought along this real book to try and exorcise the young lady.
Authenticity about your props on a shooter is important to the actors and the fucking scenery.
The line that really caught my attention while they were in the middle of having their conversation when Heather went off script was something about, I believe she mentioned being many, and I just kind of went, oh dear.
Oh, yeah,
that was my reaction as well. She's like, he was like, who are you? We are many. I was like, oh no, it's never good when there's loads of them. It's bad enough when there's one.
We are legion. Yeah,
I think she called herself Tough or something like that.
Yeah, because it was
kind of
like
interesting. Because the book is supposed to be the
right. Old boy gave her name in her earpiece and was like, "I'm Steve," and like she called out something else, and they were both like, "Fuck it, run with it, bro."
Yeah, that sounds way better. I liked how cheesy the little tiny shots in it just give you a quick glimpse into how cheesy and hack and slash they are with their show. Like when it's like literally your demon name is, and he opens up demon name generator on Google,
right?
And it's just like Sloth Mock Ragerbog.
Sublug, yeah. But the thing is, I think she said Thoth, and Thoth is supposed to be one of the originators of magic. Like the Book of Thoth is another name for the tarot cards. It's where that originates from. So the idea of that being the entity that inhabits her, and then that line of "for we are many," and it's just like, oh no, oh.
Yeah,
that's usually associated with it. Yeah, so
Legion,
having it being Thoth and Thoth being the originator of magic kind of brings in a slightly different connotation. It still is not in any way any less of a oh no. In fact, it might be kind of a more, or maybe I don't know.
It's cool to me because in 2019 there was a movie called The Cleansing Hour, and it's the long version of this. I didn't know there was a short to it. And the movie's really good. Like they kind of tighten up those little things. Like there's an actual demon book that they pull names from and shit. Like, okay, so we're gonna use Steve this time, kind of thing. And so when I started watching, I was like, dude, this looks really fucking familiar.
The dreaded and decades-old demon known as Steve.
Right.
You'd be surprised.
That motherfucker. But so this played out.
Hail before Todd.
Like the movie and shit, but they changed the ending in the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was kind of stoked. I was like, dude, this is fucking cool. I see where they got this from and that from.
There's actually one or two movies in this, I think, got feature-length ones. The movie after this as well, I think, got a full length.
Okay. Yeah, the one after it's called Drudge. And the best way, I think Johnny described it earlier, is a high-tech...
what if Jason Voorhees was a predator?
That's...
Oh.
That one pissed me off.
I didn't realize that got a feature.
That was a cool villain.
No, that's what we were saying. Potentially, maybe.
Oh, gotcha.
Or did you say it definitely did?
It's just the mask and the general demeanor of the guy seemed very familiar from something. I need to research it. I don't know for definite. It's just I'm full sure I saw him in something.
Kind of reminded
his body. Yeah, his body actually, the way he was holding himself was very predatorial. It was very Kevin Peter Hall.
It kind of reminded me
on how he
Chrome
moved
Skull.
and yeah.
There's Silver. Oh,
Silver Skull
was the sequel. Sorry.
Mm.
So there's one thing I forgot to mention about the first one, the Cleansing Hour one. Did anybody else get vibes of Grave Encounters?
It's been a while since I've seen that.
You've got a fake TV show going on site to expose, fake.
Welcome to the Chisnets, Roddy. How are you?
To be real.
Hey, Roddy.
I don't know. It just seemed very
like
inspired.
I can see it, but I didn't get the vibe when I was watching it.
Again, with the one with the Chrome Skull guy, I forget what it's called. Was it Dredge or Drudge or something along that lines? He kind of reminded me somewhat of the Collector.
You mean Kevin McAllister?
It's only because he was so meticulous with that gauntlet that he had for himself. You know, the darts, it had a blade, it had a grappling hook. That was a pretty nifty piece of engineering, to be perfectly honest.
Yep.
Wanted to make sure everything was perfect.
It was.
I enjoyed everything, like the setup, but it was too like.
Do you know I
short.
timed,
Like,
dude? Do you know I timed it? It's only 4 minutes shorter than Cleansing Hour.
I mean, they're shorts to begin with. So
but Cleansing Hour is long enough. Cleansing Hour is like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
Because I'll put it this way: 3 movies. By the time you finish the Father's Day zombie movie, you're halfway through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then you also got to remember there's the
but all those interspersed in between things are about the same length. There's not a
I mean, but still.
So, I don't know. I mean, like
no, because you had said it earlier in the day, and I threw it on again before I went live, just because there's so many shorts in it that I was just like, I need a bit of a refresher upper on what's what, and I was just kind of timed it.
I don't know. Well, then I must. Because I can literally describe the whole movie in like two sentences.
It's a basic slasher movie. There's not a complicated plot. Dude makes some crazy gear. Dude with crazy gear show people die.
Shot dead, like say shot for shot what happened, not just a general.
But in that short though, I mean, like the Cleansing Hour, a lot of things happen. You get a lot of trying to break it down. But in that one that you're talking about, it's
just a scene basically.
Serial killer.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just a serial killer. Like, you know what? I've been dreaming about this shit. I wonder if I could. Sat down, made some fucking equipment, and then went on a test run. Like that was.
As Giz said, it's just basically a scene. It's like you have the start of a movie where you see the guy making his gear, and then it just cuts straight to the murder spree at the end of the movie.
Like I don't know how you would have really gone. Like I don't know how you would have gone longer unless there were just more people in the house. Like that was just his. I'm gonna go get a fucking Coke, a smile, and go kill 2 people.
The only way you could make it longer outside of just whacking in more miscellaneous meat for the guy to murder is by letting him talk. And I think if you let that guy talk, he loses all his mystique and mystery.
Right, because I don't think any voice that you would have picked, like, you know, Morgan Freeman, like, I think hearing that individual speak would have just broken any kind of, like, creepy, scary kind of fucking mold.
I now have dialogue in my head with Morgan Freeman's voice coming out of that guy, and I won't lie to you, I'm not totally against it.
Like I'm gonna go kill
I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but I'm not.
Because it might sound more creepier about that kind of voice.
So anyway,
saying diabolical things.
So anyway, on to the next short, which is called A Father's Day. And it's this really, I have to say, it's a really touching, hope-filled story about when we die and come back to life as zombies, maybe, just maybe, familial ties remain. Because what is clearly a father and daughter find themselves in the zombie apocalypse. They are zombies themselves.
Well,
and they find each other, and
a father and daughter bond is found.
No, I think it actually.
I kind of got the impression they're actually.
I thought it was just
father and daughter.
The inhaler sparked a memory.
Okay, see, I kind of like I kept watching him like play with the inhaler, but I didn't know if it was more of like a, oh hey, wait, didn't my daughter have one, or oh hey, the inhaler reminded him of someone kind of thing. I wasn't quite sure how to.
I think it's because of the way the story goes, and there's other stuff as well that happens whereby you can see the daughter recognizing her father. So I think they actually definitely 100% are supposed to be father and daughter, and they found each other, and they have this nice little day out. They go to the park, they go on the swing, they share some dinner together, you know.
Other zombies are.
In all honesty, I still thought this was still part of the first one with the home invader. I was like, oh, chick looked like she had a little bit of like that's where the chick took the like arrow thing through the face. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know. That's why I was very confused.
Did you not notice the part where one short movie ended? It went to the guy on the stage, and another.
No, because the other fucking movie just ended, and that's why I was like, what the fuck? But I hated
the other movie just ended and then went to a dude on stage.
Yes, I understand that.
And then there's a new story.
Sure.
I never picked up on the father-daughter thing. I thought it was just like somebody that kind of two zombies falling in love kind of thing.
I fucking hope they're not falling in love. She's like fucking 12.
No, you could see it from the start. You can see it from the start.
He's in full zombie mode, noshing on someone until the girl drops her inhaler out of her.
No, it's not that. She goes to try and take food, and the other zombies are slapping her away, and he looks up and he notices the inhaler, and then he grabs some of the body, walks over and gives it to her.
Yeah, and then the zombies have a shit fit.
Yeah, and he ends up just walking away with her and finding food, and the two of them kind of find a hen dangling in the park, and from there they end up going on the roundabout and just having father-daughter day. And
I liked how it wasn't just the two of them as well, because at one stage there's these two elderly lady zombies that kind of just stop and take it in, and they're kind of like, that's lovely. I'm going to go eat someone now, Mary. How about you? Yeah, probably myself, but that's fucking adorable.
Mary was carrying a head.
Yeah. Not a lot of meat in a head, mate.
No.
And then, of course, they had the inevitable run-in with their very much still alive counterparts, which nearly goes horribly wrong, or still might go horribly wrong the way the story ends.
I don't know.
I still feel like that ended horribly wrong. I'm not going to lie. Like,
I won't lie to you. All the other 4 of these puffs here are fucking have a very different ideology as to how this movie is going.
No. I'm pretty sure it ended in a live human bad way.
Oh no, I'm not saying what way the movie ended or whatever, but as I said, there's this touching moment where there's this kind of catastrophic moment initially where the father figure zombie he's walking up a road and there's a guy with a sniper rifle who's a human, obviously, and he does what humans do during a zombie apocalypse, which is pop the zombie. And then the daughter comes over and she starts standing in front of the dad to stop him getting shot and all of this kind of thing. And then the dad lines up to kill the two of them. And then his daughter comes over and puts her hand on his shoulder and just kind of, she doesn't say words. She just kind of gives him a look that's kind of like, Dad, they're just in the same situation as us, except that they're zombies. And there's this heart-touching moment, which I would have taken in and have been like, that's adorable. And I love the fact that you're able to keep this love in your heart during a zombie apocalypse, but you need to get back in the fucking house and stop thinking like that. You're going to get me fucking murdered. Get in the fucking house now. If you see anything walking at you going like, shoot in the fucking head. Have you seen Resident Evil? Did you see the Irish guy having a wobbler about the guy who didn't understand what zombies were as a zombie was walking at him? That's what I'm saying to you now, love. Get in the fucking house, and until you're willing to shoot one of these fuckheads in the head, fuck off. Not fuck off. Don't fuck off because it's a zombie apocalypse. It'd be really bad. I mean, like, fuck off. Lock yourself in a wardrobe. Stay fucking safe because you're not designed to be out here at the moment, love. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to feel real bad. And I mean real bad about doing it, but I'm doing it.
I really appreciated that they pulled off that whole short with no speaking lines. I mean, like, they sold everything in scenes.
It's like Samurai Jack.
I will not say that, no. But I appreciated they did it.
Stories done without speaking lines.
I will not acknowledge Samurai Jack.
What the fudge?
I'm sorry. I don't like Samurai Jack.
Boop. We lost Carter from the stream for a moment. Sorry, I don't know how that happened.
At least you see Firefly.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like I heard he didn't like Samurai Jack, and there was this like static electricity or something. Then his thing blipped.
Just briefly. Hi, Charity. You've arrived at a really strange time.
Yeah, we've learned something about our friend here that's maybe made myself and Gizview in a different light.
Dude.
Anyway. Is it like an Irish thing that Samurai Jack was integral to our?
I guess. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of friends that love fucking Samurai Jack. I was just never one of them.
Man, the storytelling of Samurai Jack, it's as good as fucking Avatar, except no one needed to talk.
A lot of the times.
Okay, you're comparing it
a lot of the, it's not like there's no dialogue. There is dialogue, but like.
He's not on about Dances with Smurfs. He's on about Airbender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. He said Avatar.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we do need to make that. Just from now on, I think we should refer to the film as Dances with Smurfs and the cartoon as Avatar.
Okay.
My input.
Anyway, next up on the short movie list is R.I.P., where one unfortunate bastard had the misfortune of marrying one very vainglorious lady who insists that he has to die because everything has been arranged. The funeral is happening. The doctor said he has 48 hours to live. They are not going back. He will not have her disgrace him. It is all going to be, she's picking out all the clothes. It doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what he likes. He is wearing her father's suit. It might not fit him exactly because her father was probably larger, but it does not matter. And he's shaving that beard.
I've never heard you speak that fast.
He was like selling micro machines over here
in my life.
Jesus.
I will
if you could do more things that fast in relation to the I'm talking podcasts specifically.
Right.
That was good, man. That was nearly as fast as I fucking talk.
So anyway, the thing is, he died and they had the wake and he woke.
Yeah.
And he refused to die, no matter what his mother or his wife did. And I mean, at one point, the wife is stabbing him, and the mother is churning his guts with an electric whisker.
Yeah, to the point that the blood's nice and fluffy now.
Oh, it's perfectly fluffy.
Oh, yeah.
Am I the only one that thought of milkshakes right then?
No.
Or yes.
You weren't.
Really? You were. Really, you were, yeah. Really. At no point did the want for a meat milkshake ever.
No, strawberry.
Yeah, no.
No, it's not, man.
It looks
You're watching the same movie as we are, right? It's not,
no,
though,
I'm just
is
saying,
it?
No. When she said your blood is all nice and fluffy, all that went through my head is, I'd love a milkshake.
Right, and there it was hanging off the blender. Like, it didn't really register where she pulled it from. It was just like,
thank you.
That does look kind of fucking frothy. Like,
thank you.
Oh, I'm not denying. Oh, hang on. I'm not denying the frothiness of the fucking blood that she did. That was some frothy fucking blood. Won't lie to you. Didn't even know you could froth blood up like that. But anyway. Actually,
it takes.
I'm not sure if it's doable.
Apparently.
Well, I suppose you can probably froth any viscous liquid up if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, I think it also depends on temperature because you need to keep it at a certain viscosity.
And he was room temperature at least.
Yeah,
well,
well,
he was still.
He was
no,
body
he was
temperature.
still
They were drilling
warmer
him.
than room temperature.
Uh,
If your body temperature is room temperature, you have an issue.
They were whipping the cream in him like it was a
I
party
know I
bowl.
often have issues.
he was like just sitting on the bed there for a while, so I kind of assumed at some point we hit room temperature.
Now the thing is, the husband really, really wants to go out and just like.
Trev says sounds like Giz has done it before. Worryingly enough, it does, doesn't it?
Anyway, so the husband.
That's what I was going to wait for him to say, was from experience.
The husband wants to tell everyone he's alive because hey, he's alive, he's not dead. And meanwhile, the wife and the mother are like, no, you're not disgracing us. Do you know how many people are here? This is a massive ceremony. We're going through all this hassle. You were going to die. And sure, while they're arguing about things and they think they've killed him, he walks off, and it's doesn't go well.
Yeah, the wake weren't really ready for it.
But it's the slap from his mother.
No, they weren't.
And there was also the issue that he wasn't looking the best of wear by the time he walked out to them. Like, he was pretty...
Well, had he walked out like, 20, 30 minutes earlier, it might have been okay.
Yeah.
Half open.
If anything, they'd be like, oh, thank God, he's not dead.
Right. But once you're like opened up in frost, that tends to change a lot of people's fucking minds. Like,
yeah. Anyway, up next we have one that's called Mammon, which I can only describe as...
I'm pretty sure it's Donald Trump transcending through
death,
purgatory until death.
I'm thinking it's a near-death experience, and his brain is firing.
I thought he was dead.
And yeah, maybe he is.
He seemed pretty dead at the end of it. Although, as confusing as all of this sounds, it does involve a 50-foot robot Trump mech that I won't lie to you, I really liked.
He wasn't 50 foot. It was more like 20 or 30.
Bullshit.
No, I call that 50, bro.
Bullshit. That was easily house size, if not larger.
People are like pennies compared to his ass. I mean, like that motherfucker is huge.
Perhaps you're both right, because you know his legs come out and then he stands up.
Yes. So essentially, it follows Robo Trump having made Mexico pay for the wall.
Or attempting to make Mexico pay for the wall. Having
I'm pretty sure. I won't lie to you. If there's a receipt, that means that it's now on them. So like they can go. We're not paying for this. It's kind of like, okay, bring it up in court, buddy.
Cool.
Don't know what you want me to do.
I think that's where the robot Trump came in when they said go fuck yourself, and then the wall came down, and then Robo Trump came out, and it all went.
I have to say,
even more bizarre.
The building of the wall. Not that I condone the idea when he came out with it in real life, but the building of the wall in his weird fever dream that we're watching was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just all these choppers just fly in with loads of big building Lego blocks of wall, and it's just like clunk, 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 border. What the fuck?
It's definitely the most memorable. But what surprised me is how actual proficient the effects were. Hang on. This movie does not.
I liked the piss take on Desperado as well, where you have you have the guy from Desperado essentially show up, and it turns out someone's mixed up their guitar cases, and he brings a guitar to a gunfight, basically.
Yeah,
and there's like
the ambassador who has to put on a lucha mask and defend their tradition.
Yeah, defend is a bold statement.
Nope.
Well, he was supposed to.
He ran for 3 feet, took one bullet near his general vicinity, and then turned and ran many feet in the opposite direction. And then,
but he was supposed to.
Now, I think my favorite part was like, dude, I've got a business to run, and then they kick old boy's fucking cart over, and he's like,
never mind.
What did you do? Yeah, it's just Donald Trump's fever dream.
Yeah, it's actually on screen now.
I was very confused at the start. Why the fuck
also, something I found weird was the people dropping from the sky. Was that them literally being like catapulted out of America? Was that the vibe I was getting?
It was border toss. It was a border toss.
Literal border toss. Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
So
that's a fucking weird short. It's good though.
It is.
Oh, dude.
It almost doesn't seem like it fits the rest.
Well,
of
it
them,
does
though.
fit the horror vibe
Kind of
because at the end where you realize it was Donald Trump kind of going fucking having near-death experiences or flashes or whatever you want to call it. Obviously now dead Trump's sentient toupee alleviates itself of his head and just takes off on its own. Or maybe Trump isn't dead and Trump is in fact a toupee controlling just a meat puppet beneath it.
I mean, like, I felt like that did definitely fit the twisted
Wouldn't be the first time.
fantasy kind of aspect of it.
Wouldn't be the first time. Anyway,
Little
up
Bandit.
next is...
No! Is that what you're on about?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Up next
Perfect.
is the animated awesomeness that is The Death, Dad and Son. This is just fantastic. This is just fantastic. Your everyday work average single dad death, you know, trying to look after the son, trying to get the son to do chores around the house, like paint the fence while he's going off and reaping souls. And the son instead spends his days watching cartoons and decides that he wants to be an angel rather than paint the fence. So dad gives him a spanking. The kid runs off, goes up topside, decides to try and save people. It's a terrible fucking idea, kid.
I don't know if you've ever spanked a skeleton. It's hard.
They were both spectral entities. I'm sure it was fine.
There was a literal consistency joke there. Was what I was getting at. Thank you.
Sorry,
well
I can be a bit dense sometimes. So
well, I
anyway.
think that's the clip for the end of the show this week.
So Death Jr. goes up and sees a meat factory in process, decides to save a cow, release the cow. Cow gets a slap of a car. People in the car dies. Kid is left orphaned. Young Death Jr. decides this is not happening, not on my watch. Goes up, grabs those souls, yanks them down, and sticks them back in the bodies. Oops, apocalypse. Well, a bit of a zombie incident.
It's such a kind of like kid-ish style film. Like, they covered that whole life, death, and consequences thing really well.
Well,
like,
dude, in fairness, Coraline is a kid-styled film that's absolutely
Freaky
fucking
as
creepy as
fuck.
shit.
Truth, yeah.
Those button
So
eyes.
anyway,
And again, single word spoken. Like, what's that show
Exactly.
again, Carter?
You know, like, they covered so much topic in that.
So yeah, after the little bit of a zombie incident, Dad comes up to fix things and just sucks the souls out of everything, and no more zombies, and has a nice father-son day out whereby they go on a roller coaster and then reap all the souls that
of
of
death.
death.
Roller coaster. Bow, bow, bow. Anyway, moving on.
I like the vacuum-powered hat.
So Junior takes off. You know, Junior follows in his father's footsteps, and it's a nice father-son bonding experience, and just really fun. Really fun. Until nothing.
I'd like more of that, actually. That actual, whoever directed that segment. I think if you look at the likes of, I can see that going alongside Tim Burton's.
Actually,
Claymation,
Roddy, I should say, seeing as you
side
put the
of it
message
as
in
well.
there, I would say you should definitely check out this movie. I think you'll dig it.
Definitely, dude.
I honestly, I think everybody should check out this movie. If you don't dig everything, all of the movies are really good. If you don't dig everything, you're going to dig quite
There's
a lot
at
of
least
it.
one thing. Yeah.
You know, like, in truth,
It's the good thing about
Yeah,
movies. If you
but the
don't
reason
like
I
it, you just
picked
wait a
Roddy
couple of
specifically
minutes, there's
was
the
I
next
was
one.
like, I can see him loving this, pretty much start to
Because, like,
finish.
I liked a lot of the shorts, but my biggest problem was I wasn't a fan of old boy that did the in-betweens. He just kind of
There is a story.
There's a story there as well.
And
The
I'll
wrap
get
up.
to I'll get to
his
that.
story is good. I just meant, like, for some reason his scenes just kind of like slowly grated on me.
I think
couldn't
they're
really
kind of
figure out
supposed to.
why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, next up on the shorts is
It's
this
on
cute cosmic-
Amazon Prime, Charlie.
So
It's I would say for Roddy, it's also on Tubi, Peacock, and Pluto
Right.
TV, all free.
So-
Peacock's not, but Tubi and Pluto TV are.
Miracle.
so next up
Over
we
here,
have
we
this.
didn't have it on Netflix.
So next up we have this cute cosmonaut who
I
has.
love that Carter was
unfortunate-
like, oh, okay, I was going to say something, but we'll just let the stories move on.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, next up we have some cute cosmonaut who's found herself lost in space and all of a sudden gets grabbed into an alien and she's wrapped through a quantum vortex and she ends up being split into parallel versions of herself and she realizes she's drifting forever in the midst of a quantum reality.
Can I say what I really liked about this particular movie was, especially considering you and I, like 50% of our show now comes via green screen when we're on American Horrors anyway. And it really shows how if you're good with your green screen, you can make a really like if you think about that shoot, right? That's literally girl in astronaut costume getting rolled around on some ropes or whatever you fucking way you do that 3D rotation and one or two close-up headshots so you can put a HUD or a HUD, should I say, in front of her for some close-up head dialogue. And that's it.
Oh, you mean a heads-up display?
Yeah. I was going to say, I meant to say heads-up display and then decided to spell HUD instead, and then I was like, or it's actually a HUD. But yeah, a heads-up display.
I'll probably say that this was my least favorite. I just kind of got bored with it.
I was hoping she'd reach a destination other than being stuck in a quantum quagmire.
I liked how she went through the little vortex and just met 5 million other hers. Also endlessly drifting through space.
Oh,
it was very Arthur C. Clarke, very 2001 Space.
It was like Gravity meets being sucked into a portal at the end, and that was that.
Oh, well, perhaps that scene from the original Star Trek movie where Spock goes into V'Ger's cloud, and it's just there. It's just more of a trippy mind trip.
It feels like one where it's like, okay, we have this set time frame. We need to like put something in really quick to fill the time run. That's
by no means. By no means.
I mean, visually very interesting. As an actual narrative, it did bring the movie down to a bit of a grind for me.
I think it was kind of as well the movies you get into, the movie you get into, which is kind of the accumulation of the shorts. Or sorry, not the shorts. It's kind of the accumulation of the in-between bits of the stage show. I think that's the reason for the Lost in Space bit. It's kind of like you feel like this is going to be the end of the movie, and then we're going to hear off our narrator guy, and we're going to move on with our day. But fucking hell, when we hear off our narrator guy,
the next one up is.
I actually thought that.
I just didn't understand the ending of that. About how she ends up through the vortex, and there's thousands, millions of other.
No, it's her. It's
astronauts.
It's her. It's her.
They're all her.
It's
dead.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah.
The notion, if you look, I think it's going off of fucking quantum theory, whereby it's all the different versions of her, except this is her being split into all the different versions of her drifting.
No matter what parallel universe you're in, at the end of it, she's still just going to be a floating astronaut stuck in a parallel vortex.
Or at least all these ones are.
Yeah, all right. Again, very pretty to look at, but
I will say what Johnny was saying is like all these films went on. I did expect the credits right after this one. Like
because fuck me when you figure out that the dude isn't just some guy working on his fucking one-man show.
But there's a couple other shorts as well that we kind of get. There's two more shorts.
No, I was just saying like that.
Yeah, there's the shortest of the shorts where the next one up is called Bloodbath, and you have a guy and he's in like a garage and he listens to the radio, and on the radio they're talking about how they've got these new products, and it's you put bio stuff into your body, now you're going to put bio stuff on your body, and it's all healthy. And this guy goes to take a shower, and he turns on the shower, and you hear the motor revving, and it's a bloodbath. It's blood streaming down, and then the motor cuts out, and as it goes across, you see that he's got this topless chick tied to a chair with these tubes coming out of her,
draining her
basically
because you need it
in her blood.
Yeah,
I kind of felt like that
was that the whole short. That one.
Yeah,
it just ends with your one trying to get out of the cage.
Screaming help.
Yeah,
okay. Well, this is why I merged that and the circus one in together, because I thought that was something else going on in the asylum.
No, the circus one is the last show.
Right. Asylum is the wraparound for it and stuff. But I don't know. Like this one just didn't really do anything for me.
I thought it was very cool, except I'm now pissed that I now know that that's the end of that short. I thought that all led into the. I did also. I was like, that's a weird. I get how it fits into the asylum stuff, but it's a bit of a weird scene to just add in. But now I understand that it was a separate thing.
Yeah, and like it's just a little short fantasy scene.
Yeah. Oh, Giz.
What?
It's just a little short fantasy scene.
They're called twisted horror and fantasy tales.
Yeah, and out of the two categories you mentioned, the guy draining women that he's chained up in his basement for showering purposes is in the fantasy category?
He's thinking of a different kind of fantasy. He's taking that word differently than the fantasy is the way I think this movie is meant to take it.
I don't know.
Thanks. I thought that joke kind of explained itself, but cheers for backing it up there. Cool.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Anyway, so the last show has a bunch of kids going to a circus, and they're enjoying the circus act until the clowns start butchering absolutely fucking everything.
In cartoon and real life, which I liked.
I liked the cut back and forth.
It made it feel like I was reading a comic book, actually, because it felt like it was like I'm watching something happening in a comic book panel. Here are some of the comic book panels. Now I'm getting in depth into another comic book panel. Sorry, I just said the word panel there a lot in a very short space of time.
But the last show is just basically a sit down and watch the bloody violence as these psycho clowns tear everyone apart, and it's fun. It's fun. But I think the real key is the wraparound story of the anthology, which is that of Brandon, who is our stage performer, who narrates all these different tales. Yeah. Over the course of these tales, we're getting the story of himself and his wife, and their relationship, the deterioration of their relationship, how he feels about it, and we're also getting flashes to this dinner that he prepared for his wife that she might not have been aware of because things might have progressed to a certain point that he no longer remembered, which is why things might have happened. And it turns out that all of this stuff, this stage performance, everything we're seeing, I'm not going to say it's entirely in his head because it is definitely happening, but it is not happening in the way that he thinks it is happening or in front of the audience that he imagines. But it is an audience that very much is cheering for him.
Captivated, some would say.
Things. Some of the audience is very captivated. Some of the audience is just enjoying it, and yes, yeah. They're all tied up and nowhere to go.
The little in betweens, I was obviously a little bit different, but it kind of reminded me of the one Carter and I did for the OVR for the Christmas special, the All Creatures Were Stirring. How they kind of had the performances and like.
Except in this, the in-betweens actually are a wraparound. Like in All the Creatures Were Stirring, it wasn't really.
No, but I know what he's saying though, like how one kind of bled into the other. Like at the end of the zombie.
Not just that, but it's like how they were kind of almost like it was acting out the movie. Like we went into like at the end of the one where like the dude was dead. Then we go to the stage performance and like we see that the guy laying on the table and like they're actually seeing it as the performance. That's kind of how they did that with All the Creatures Were Stirring, that the story at the end shows up at the performance part 2, that the audience is supposedly watching actors act out.
Like how he was a zombie. Like how he was a zombie at the end of the Father's Day one, and then came up as a zombie to go into his little bit stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, I liked his story, but his breaks, I don't know, like they kind of graded on me. But then, like you said, Johnny, it was kind of supposed to. So I guess it did its job then.
What? Sorry.
Giving you props, boss. Just giving you props.
I sorry, I'm prepping the thingamajig.
You could kind of see where things are. I don't know. Maybe I've just got a suspicious mind, but once he starts telling the story of himself and the wife and the way that it goes, I all of a sudden start. Like I said, I've got a suspicious mind, so I'm all of a sudden thinking, I wonder.
And it was the way he was talking about her too. That whole like, oh, blah blah blah, and then there's this guy. oh, this is not going to end pretty. No, no. You know, and
And
so
then we
like
start
as
getting
his story
flashbacks, and it's like,
right, you know, and then as more of his story unfolds, it's like, oh, I think I know where this is going. All right, yeah, this is not a. You know what? Let's rekindle this flame.
Yeah, you
I
get to
liked
a
how
stage
the-
in it and you're kind of like, ah, now I get where the asylum bit comes from. Okie dokie.
Yep. I like that scene with himself and the wife, and just the wife's face is so happy and delighted, and she looks up, sees him, just falls, and his face is happy and delighted.
Oh.
Sees her face fall and just turns to vicious angry. Just
Yeah, so vicious angry that he went cross-eyed.
Yeah, that was so weird.
I found that odd. Although,
kinda
I mean,
reminded-
look, as an effective thing, it sure looked fucking creepy.
It reminded me of a poor man's Richard, or is it Richard Brake?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Goat from Doom.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had Richard didn't sound right for some reason, but he just kind of reminded me of like a poor man's Richard Brake. Like he was just trying to be so much at times.
Well, to be fair, he was also trying to be different characters on stage,
Yeah. No, I mean like
or
his
represent different things on stage, maybe.
Yeah, no, that part I was fine with. I mean, like in his story, like it just times that like he wasn't necessarily like selling the scene in his story. Like he was trying too hard to be menacing or trying too hard to be, I don't know.
I thought he was outside of the cross-eyed bit. I thought he was like on the right level with menacing. Although, I mean, I can see how you'd go cross-eyed if you get fucking that angry. It could happen. Hopefully not if it's a fight scenario, because that'll be a really bad time to go cross-eyed.
Yeah, no, overall, I think it works in regards being something that will have you sit down and go, well, that was a mental explosion of entertainment.
I found it to be a very enjoyable 2 hours.
Yeah, the wraparound story is
like,
you can see where it's coming after a point, but
I
still fun.
I get what Buzz was saying, that like if you're not into the stage play stuff, it can be fucking annoying. But I really think it's well worth it when you get that payoff at the end.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, dude, I think the bloodbath one where a boy was showering in blood was probably their weakest. But the rest of them.
Here's the thing with
The
that
rest
one,
of
man.
them
I wouldn't
were
even
so
call that
awesome.
weak,
It's
though.
like 30
Like
seconds.
it was shot really
was
well.
short.
It was done
Yeah.
really good. It's just that it was like you had a start and a middle, and we got no end. I'd like
They're
an
all
end,
shorts.
please.
Yeah.
I think the
Right,
end is
like-
that no one gets out alive.
Or do they? I don't fucking know, because they never fucking
Right. Like had they not had the girl.
That's
in the
kind of
cage
how
and
I
it was
felt
just
about
the chick
that
in the
second
chair,
one.
To me, that'd been a finale. Like, yep, nobody gets out alive kind of vibe.
But in the second one, there was an end. They killed everybody.
Right. Like just straight up murderized them.
Everyone died, and then if this was a slasher franchise, we'd move on to the sequel where he's got some new teenagers to go murder his way through.
I mean, I know survivability with taking whatever the fuck she took to the face is probably low.
I would say a high projectile dart
Through the
railing
mouth.
its way through the front of or back of your skull to the front of your skull would probably be.
Right.
Yeah.
Like even she was
It's
like,
a grappling
"Oh
hook.
shit, I'm dead." Like I felt like
Yeah.
that was pretty sold. Oh hey,
That was-
Bill wants
yep.
to know at GoreCast. Before I go off, you going to download Days and play it tomorrow night, 9 p.m. with me and Rochi.
I might.
Hey, Bill, before you go off, are you going to sort out AVP and play it with me on Saturday?
He might.
Or give me a call and I'll help you sort it.
But no,
Yeah.
most definitely. Like, all
Also,
of
I know
these,
Rochi
like,
mailed him
definitely
privately
worth
to
watching.
tell him to fucking say it to me as well, so it's coming from all angles. I'm just going to let that be noted out there now.
You got it coming at you from all angles, huh?
So I've got to ask, out of every segment,
Oh.
what is each person's favourite?
Opening one, yeah, hands down.
Mine's the first.
Yeah,
It was good.
I gotta go with that one.
I did like the zombie one. But I liked Destiny's Son.
I won't lie to you, man. I
like that.
Pretty much all of them.
But my problem is, like, I don't know if I like the first one since I saw the movie.
Well, I think the standout one has to be Mecha Trump. It just stands out. It's not the best, but it's just so
it is one of
memorable.
those movies where you're like,
That's the one
I'm never going to see that
care
again. Not in not as in like I'm never going to watch the movie again, but it's like can't see that coming up in another fucking film ever. And you,
I've now seen.
I'll be honest. That's my least recommendable one out of the lot of them.
I've now seen a Robo Donald Trump and a slasher film of Donald Trump.
I'd say the three that I didn't like was the astronaut one, the chair, the shower, blood bath, or whatever, and then the second one. It's not that I didn't like the concept, like the second one. I don't know what I needed more out of it. I just felt like it was too short and just not really.
I did out of all the segments that were there, that was most expandable.
It's why I liked it, dude.
That was a cool
I was
villain.
like,
That's kind of where it's more of like I don't not
so
like
the fact
it,
that they did a job of what a
why
movie
it's
is kind of supposed to do, whereas you're enjoyed it to a point that I need more of it. You're now
See you later, Bill.
See you later, Bill.
Not that I enjoyed it, that I needed more of it. It's just there wasn't enough there.
I'd love to see him in a feature film, man.
enjoy it
He's
more.
cool.
Do you know?
yeah.
I think the most complete story that they actually presented was the father-son death day. Like that had a beginning.
I think that had
middle.
a good rap.
Yeah, the most complete.
Oh, sorry,
story.
Father. Yeah, sorry, yeah, I had the zombie thing in my head.
No, not Father's Day. Death, Dad, and Son.
No, I definitely think that was probably like the cleanest wrap up, done, move on kind of one.
I think the one with
R.I.P.
the dude couldn't die kind of wrapped up. I mean, he's stuck in the ground.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to
forever.
die, so
Yeah,
that
like,
really
what else
hasn't
can
wrapped
you do?
up. Does he get out? Does he do
But
like a
it
Kill Bill
doesn't
job
matter
where he
because-
eventually?
but I mean,
you know,
he ain't-
I mean,
Right,
realistically,
does he
he's
go
got a
back
lighter
and
there. He could probably
put him
burn
on
his
the
way out of
fire?
the box or set the box on fire. It's not like setting it on fire is going to kill him.
So now there's just a worse person coming after them, and now he will never be able to regrow his beard that everybody knows him for.
It's
Not
a
going to
sad
be
day.
happy with that.
It's a sad day. I really liked the first one. I really liked the second one.
I did like the zombie one.
I really liked the zombie one as well. I just think it's giving people impractical notions about what will happen during an actual zombie apocalypse.
Right.
It's giving people hope that maybe the memory remains a little bit.
Okay, and Warm Bodies is giving people hope that maybe I might be able to fuck a zombie in later life.
Right.
None of it means it's...
No. Evil Head is giving you that hope.
No,
No, he was right the first one.
Thank you.
Like love brought. Like I unfortunately watched.
Also,
How
just
is
to
it?
clarify, Giz, not trying to be pedantic here, but Evil Head isn't zombies. Yeah.
All right, fine.
But I've just noticed something
hi,
really
Best
quite
Darcy.
weird.
Welcome
How
to
is
the
it
end of the
that
show.
Johnny and Giz appear
What
to
up,
be...
Borcy? How are you? And
Hey, what's
also,
up?
nearly goodbye.
How is it Johnny and Giz are a complete negative of each other? Johnny with the white skin and the blue background.
Sorry, just to clarify, the skin ain't white, motherfucker.
Giz.
I ain't no
Giz with
Smurf,
the blue
bitch.
skin and the white background.
You're fucking fooling everybody.
You're
Do you remember
Papa
Photoshop Tuesday where it was a pain in the ass to do anything with you because you were literally, you looked like fucking
Yeah,
Veruca.
that's
What's her face? Yeah, thank you.
Veruca Salt.
Didn't we say it wasn't her? It was the other one.
That was good times.
Katie says I might have
No, we're gonna say
bodies
it's
a little
Veruca
bit
Salt.
too much.
Veruca Salt's one that turns into the
Hey,
blue.
Katie, that's...
I'll tell Corridor Crew's
Fine.
version of Willy Wonka.
I had more words of encouragement, and
Check
that's
out
all I
the
could
Corridor
come out
Crew's
with.
version.
The what?
Look,
That's fine.
that's fine. I like Sharknado. You know, we can't all bat it out of the
Right.
park every day of the week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
I like various things we're not getting into.
Yeah,
they
we
told
know.
me there was zombies in that movie. I watched.
Do you know why we don't need to get into them? Because we've got into them so many times before that I don't think even people who haven't come to the channel before, I'd say, can probably figure out what you're on about.
But we never talk about Star Trek.
Oh, that's you see, that's probably not what you're on about. That's scary.
Good reason.
I'm trying to pick a cool trailer to run at the end of the show because we don't have
a
new episode this week. What was this again? You know what? We'll do this one. I like this one.
Is there a trailer for the movie that we...
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Joseph's right, it's Violet.
Joseph's right, what?
It wasn't Veruca Salt. It wasn't Veruca Salt. It wasn't Veruca Salt. Whatever.
Pish posh, Luke. It doesn't matter. Anyway, here's the. Here's the. I'm only joking, Joseph. By the way, here's the trailer for Asylum: Twisted Tales of Horror and Fantasy. Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales. Sorry. We'll be back after the trailer.
Those words are out there. Those words are out there.
Goodbyes and things like that.
Good afternoon, my darlings. Are you having a good time?
That was creepy.
My grade, my fingers.
As long as it's not a
it's
not a one that can be misconstrued.
It'll be
By the way, we're back on screen.
Yes.
Good.
Right.
Oh,
So
I was going to say as long as it's not a 0.5.
let's get some votey votes going, or ratings going for Asylum: Twisted Tales of Horror or Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales.
I'm going 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4 as well. There's enough good stories to make it interesting, regardless of anything that might detract.
Yeah.
4 for me too. I think it's a banger.
2 from Buzz.
You're giving the whole movie a 2.
I've got to be awkward at 0.5.
Okay.
To be after 3.5 from me, it's like it wasn't amazing, but it was good fun. I don't think it was good enough for a 4, but it definitely didn't deserve a 3.
I forgot.
I think the latter half of the film, I kind of lost attention a bit, especially with the space episode. I did lose it a bit after that.
Right.
It never
So
won me
that is
back.
2 movies and 2 3.5s.
No, 2.5 for the first one.
No, that was your vote. Oh,
But the
overall
for
average rating
average.
between all of us is 3.5 for both movies.
I forgot
See,
about
we
the
are a democracy here,
score from
kind of.
people falling.
I'm going to need both of you to say those things again, but separately, please.
We're a democracy here, kind of.
I just said I forgot about the little kid keeping.
We are a democracy on.
Sky.
We are a democracy unless I don't like what you hear and I mute you.
Chris, kick us off air.
Yeah, so 3.5 for Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, and 3.5 for Asylum, Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales.
Yay!
So out of curiosity, right now, you've got to. If I was to say you got one movie to watch again right now, would it be Asylum or would it be Resident Evil? Johnny?
Asylum.
Giz?
I'd probably watch Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. Buzz? Oh, so it's 2 for 2.
Only because I'd go back to watch Resident Evil to give it the second watch to see if there's stuff that I missed the first time around. Whereas with Asylum, I'm happy that I've seen everything in it and I could watch it again, but it's not the one that I'd be looking to watch again straight, you know.
Yeah. I'd sort of watch Resident Evil next as well. So yeah, 3 to 2.
Just those little things in the corner trying to figure out if you saw it the first time kind of shit.
Sort of, yeah.
Was everybody getting awful echo? And also, is the awful echo gone?
Ouch.
And when was the awful echo? Because I don't know.
When was the awful echo?
Was a while ago before the trailer, we think.
Was a while ago before the trailer.
Oh, for frack's sake.
Oh, for frack's sake. It's weird how your echo changes.
It's almost as if his echo doesn't actually sound like him, which is I find odd.
Echo is gone before trailer just from Buzz. It's gone and it was before the trailer.
All right, cool, perfect.
No more.
Well, that's it from us for the night. Thanks to Mike for joining myself and Mike and Giz. And we'll have to do the YouTube
Get all
shit.
those mics wired up.
If you're new to the channel and you haven't been here before, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, as it will help us try and grow the channel to the magical number of 1,000, where YouTube will be kind of like, oh, you're a YouTube now. And that'll be all good.
You're a YouTube now.
Yeah, and they'll let us monetize videos and all that kind of thing until eventually, most presumably, Bloomhouse or Giz will say something live on air that will get us demonetized, one or the other. And other than that, we'll catch you all... What day is today? Thursday. We'll catch you all on Sunday night, where we're going to be doing our usual games of murder, mystery, and mayhem, where I will probably, possibly give Among Us a go on Saturday to see if it works, and then we might do that for a change.
Oh, sweet.
Otherwise, everything that I just said, but there'll be feathers involved as well. Other than that, we'll catch you all during the week. Don't forget to catch us on Sunday night on American Horrors, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to as GMDs, which is 2:30 or 7:30 if you're EST. And
just briefly, Tristan's comment.
We need a show of just Carter, Buzz, and Mike for a night, and just call it an open mic night. See, my problem with doing anything like that, young Tristan, is that it seems like a cool idea, because it's like, oh, Johnny might even get a night off where he can do it, but it won't. You see, is the thing that I'm just going to have to sit here and still push buttons, unless I get Giz to do it. Just like it, yeah. Well, I was very vocal in the old OVR days, to be blatantly honest. Yeah.
Yeah, to us, but not to the audience. We're just like,
I won't lie to you. That is the one thing I miss about us having the separate shows, is that I miss writing just the random shit up on the screen.
Yeah.
You're in control of the production. More power to you.
And then me and Carter just stop.
But
and
if
talk,
they're doing a
Johnny's
show without
talking
me,
in our ear.
I want a night off. Like, here, sleep is great.
I find it's overrated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of it.
You're talking about a guy who literally has "I sleep when I'm dead" tattooed on him. So it's just, as I get older, maybe it could be that "I'll sleep when I'm dead" is now my body's starting to feel death drawing ever closer, and now it's kind of like, sleep. You know what? Sleep ain't that bad. Sleep ain't that bad. But anyway, we'll catch you all during the week. We're going to be talking about some other sort of mad horror bollocks. So I just picked a random trailer because I'm not exactly sure what episode he's airing this Sunday. I'll catch you all later. Bye.
an onyx. I never thought I'd go out this way.
What, an onyx?
Yeah, you know, like the rock type Pokemon. It's the only thing it could be.
I don't know, man. I think it's like a golem or something.
Golem? It's definitely not a golem. Atronach, maybe?
No. I think it's a gargoyle.
It's definitely not a gargoyle. Gargoyles have wings.
True. Well, not all.
What is your deal, man? What are you? Like, I've never seen anything like you before.
I still think it's a gargoyle.
Definitely not a gargoyle. You seem pretty pissed off about that. Hold on, this does give me a good idea for an episode. Join myself and Giz this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to as GMTs, only on American Horrors. We're going to be talking about some of the coolest horror movie villains you've never heard of. Quicker than I thought it would. It was a lot more effective than I was expecting.
Yeah, pint?
Yeah, okay. Maybe just a little pint.
You can't have just a little pint. It's either a pint or it's not.
This is true.
Don't forget, if you enjoy our Madcap GoreCast horror hijinks, we stream 3 nights a week over on YouTube, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, where you can see a little bit of this. Turd spoon, god damn, I knew there was something I wanted to bring up in the... God damn, I don't know what a fucking turd spoon is, but I'm mad to...
Yeah, pretty in-depth.
Most definitely some of this.
With a new 2009 twist. She pulls out of her vagina.
I'll give it to her though, because like, you know how like magicians kind of like do something and they pause dramatically? She took that dramatic pause.
And occasionally some of this.
Our favorite Halloween movies.
What's up, GoreCasters? Welcome back here to the GoreCast. Yeah, okay, I'm here. I'm back.